All right, it's time to make the armor. This is the chest plate and shoulder pads that are attached. This is a compression style armor system. So this will go around you, and then this will go on here, and then you're going to attach the back, and then you can cinch that to make it tighter. Okay, and then it's easy to take off. Like, all right, so I'm going to show you the shapes, and I'll start punching stuff out. We're gonna start with the foundation, the front and back chest plate. Okay, these are all the pieces you're gonna need. I'm gonna punch out this piece first and this piece first, and then the rest is essentially decoration. And then this is the shoulder piece with the tab attachment, and there's decoration pieces that go on this, and then this attaches to the shoulder. All right, I'm gonna punch these pieces out, and we'll get building. All right, so we're going to be starting with the foundation. We've got the front part, and then this is the back part. You can tell the front part because it's slightly smaller this way, and also it's got this little cutout here. All right, let's curve these so that they'll fit around your body. I'm gonna curve the sides in like this, and then we can curve that middle part. Curve this. You can use the table or your leg, because this is strong cardboard. All right, now you're gonna want to curve these parts too, because this is going to be the strap that goes over your shoulder. All right, testing it on, looks good. Okay, let's do that to this other one. Now there is a sort of a front and the back to the cardboard. You'll notice that you can see the corrugation a little more on this side. I'm gonna have this be the inside. So I'm gonna curve it like this. All right, so I've got the front one, and then here's the back one. I'm gonna put some tape right on here and on here. And then usually I've found that about like 3 fingers of overlap works for me. You might find that like, if you're smaller, you need to overlap it. You need to overlap it more to make it fit for you. So you could have a friend help you with this. Like you could hold this on while they attach these top parts. I'm just gonna test this out. I'm gonna attach it here and like the same distance over here. Measure it with my hand. Yep. And then I'm just gonna put it on. If it feels good, then I'll just reinforce this. Yeah, feels good. Okay. I'm gonna get some more tape, and I'm going to start taping down these edges. Okay, some initial reinforcement of these areas. That's good. Now I'm going to add the belt to this so that I can build this with it curved like this and add the decorations and things on this curved surface and not on a flat surface that when I fold it to my body, all the pieces just like pop off and crunch and I freak out and, you know, feel bad. We're gonna tape the belt basically in the middle of the front part of your armor, the middle of this section right here. So we want it to wrap around and keep that tension. Let's grab the clip, just make sure we have that. And For this video, I'm using bike tire tube, which is great. I normally use bike tire tube. We've included the heavier strapping for you in the kit, because eventually bike tire tube will wear out. Kind of like most rubber just gets weird after a while. Now, I'm going to add the chest plate decoration, which is these two pieces, and these ones kind of step down. So I'm going to add the base first. Just crease that. I'm probably going to want to crease this a little bit more too, just to follow the curve of the armor. That's up to you though. Curve that a little bit. Curve that. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, now I'm gonna attach this onto here. So I'm gonna line up these angles right here. I'm gonna tack it down in a couple places. I'm gonna start from the middle because that's gonna have the least amount of like lateral distortion as it bends. When it bends, there's going to be a little bit of space here. The middle is pretty much going to do the same. Now, when it bends, it is going to cause your tape to be a little funky. So you might have to readjust it. So I've tacked this on there a little bit, but I want to start cinching this up so it's going to be built on a curved surface. Flip this over. So I'm going to attach the clip. For this, it doesn't really matter which side you do. I guess like whichever arm you want to be cinching down the clip with, that's the side you want to put this piece, this side on. It's got the double little rung right there. Doink, doink. And then this one just has one. All right. Also, this side has the teeth. So I'm going to put this up, this section right there. And then I'm going to put it down through here. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to pull down like that. So that's how you tighten it up, is by pulling like that. Now, if you find that you've figured out the right distance, you can just tie this. And then I'm going to put this up through here, figure out like, okay, that's the general middle. And then I'm going to tie this. You could also staple it if it is the that like cloth strapping. I don't like to staple rubber tie because it's putting micro cuts into the rubber tie, and eventually those will rip. I like to tie rubber tie. Okay, so now, building on a curved surface is going to be easier. So I attach this here. Now this is curved. I'm going to continue attaching this. Pretty good. I'm going to start bending this one. This is going to sit on top of here. Crease that. I'm going to line up these parts here with this part there, and then this is going to be like a stepped down situation here and here. Now I'm going to add these sections down here. That's these two pieces here. I'm going to sit like that, and then these are like little decorative chunks that are going to sit on top of that. I'm going to start by creasing this and bending this so that it's going to go nicely with the curve. Okay. All right, got a curve to it. And then I'm going to line up this edge here with this edge there. Now I'm going to want to tape these parts down. These like antlers. Might be a little tricky. So I'm going to use some, I'm going to tear this and I'm going to use some smaller pieces. And I'm going to start by putting a couple pieces on there. Okay, that's good enough for the moment. Now I'm going to add these little pieces here. I'm going to make it so that the point of the diamond is going towards this point here. You know, you could glue these on too initially, and then you wouldn't have to tape them. You could just paper mache them after they're glued on. All right, cool. I'm gonna do this on the other side. All right, that's all set down here. Looking good. Now I'm going to add the head right here and the antlers coming out. I'm gonna bend this so that it kind of curves around. Pretty good. I'm gonna place the nose on here where I want it. I think the lower it is, the more kind of like menacing this can be. I want to just put it up just a little, I think. It doesn't have to be super scary. And I'll just do like an initial taping. And then what I'll probably do is I can lift this up and put the antlers underneath there, okay? So I'd like to keep these pieces sort of attached or in line with this layer. That way they don't get like bent and messed up later on, right? I also want to make sure that the antlers are going to predominantly wrap around and stay on the shoulder straps so that they also won't get messed up later on. I'm going to curve these, crunch them a bit, curve them up. And, you know, you can crunch these pieces down a little bit if you want to. I kind of like the definition of an extra layer. If I crunch it down too much, it's going to look like it just melds into the armor, which, you know, you might want, you might not. That seems pretty good. Okay, I'm going to tack this down here. I'll try and mirror that with this piece. Now, I feel like it's okay if this piece kind of comes, it like hangs over the edge a little bit. I want these spikes, these points to stay on the strap area, and I think it's okay if this piece comes out a little bit. And I should probably put this on and see how it feels so far. I don't want these pieces to like scratch my neck, anything like that. All right, and then I might attach this head on there a little bit better. That's pretty good for the moment. I would recommend, you know, really taping all of this down. And then you might find that pieces are coming up and you'll have to add some more tape to reinforce them staying where you want them to be. Stay put, little deer ear. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm gonna add this back portion here. So decoration looks like this. Pow. I'm gonna add that underneath the strap, okay? Let's start by folding it. just like that. And then I might also crease it a little bit more too. I want to line this up with this bottom piece, this bottom section here, and the neck on the top. All right, pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna try it on just to make sure that it fits well. Pretty good. Yeah. All right, now let's work on the shoulders. Okay, so we're going to be making this piece right here. I'm just going to show you how to make one of them, and then you can make that again for the other side. I'll show you how to attach it as well. All right, first I'm going to fold this up. The way you make a cone is you start with a circle, take a chunk out of it, and then crease it like this so that it will then want to fold, and then you can overlap one side, just like that. So this is going to overlap, and then it's going to meet up with that little mark right there. Okay? You might find that you have to kind of work this a little. There you go. I'm going to take this. Cool. You can kind of work it a little bit more, but that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to start adding decorations onto this. I'm going to start with this lower section down here. That involves half of these pieces. All right, so I'm going to take these like arrowhead shapes and put them there. And then these shapes are going to go in between these shapes. Okay? Just like that. I'm going to crease these so that they fit the curve of the cone. And I'm just going to start by placing this wherever. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to start by putting one right there. Okay? Then I'm going to take one of these spiky guys right there, and I'm going to tape on the top, just like that, and I'll put a little piece on the bottom, like that. Okay? And then I'm going to add another piece, just like that, and work my way around. Pretty good. Now I'm going to add the spike to the top of this. The spike folds like this. I'm going to bend the spike triangles on that score, and then you want to attach this pyramid together just like that. All right. So, and then we're going to put this on top of here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to angle this on here so that the spike of this is kind of following the spike of that. All right? The spike of that is following the spike angle of this. I'm going to orient this arrowhead like this. It's pointing this way, and this angle is kind of mirrored by that. All right. Might just add a little bit of tape and put it on there initially before I attach all of them down. All right, looking good. So now I'm going to add this. This is This is the strap, essentially. This is the connection piece that's going to go between the shoulder armor and the chest plate. All right, this is going to be a bent connection so that it can move and flex. You can also use some strapping if you want to have a flexible connection that is probably going to last a bit longer than cardboard. You can use bike tire tube, you can use the webbing that comes with it. Aesthetically, I think I'm going to attach it so that the this arrow is pointing up, just like that. I'm going to attach this connection piece right on the edge underneath. And I'm going to make sure that that's securely attached. I'm going to add another piece up here. And you know what? I think I'm also going to just reinforce this piece as well, just with some tape around there. Okay, you could also pierce this section right here and put some rubber tie or strapping through that, and then loop that around your shoulder strap so that it would attach with some cloth. So you can decide, you know, where you want to put your shoulder pad attachment. You could put it underneath the strap, you could put it over everything. What I'm going to do is actually slide this underneath one of the antlers so that so it'll sit like almost halfway up on the shoulder. That way I have some nice range of motion with my arm, but also I have this cool chunk of antler that's coming up onto here. All right. So that means that I might have to cut a portion of this off or fold it over to make that fit. Okay, I'm going to peel that back a little bit, and I'm going to start attaching this cardboard connection on there. And I'm going to just fold this back a little bit and add some tape right in there. Now that this is attached, I'm going to put this antler back on, just like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to look underneath here. I'm going to add a little piece of tape underneath there too, and push that right up into the seam. Cool. Nice. Okay, I'm going to do that to the other side. There you go. Okay, we want to flex those a little. See how they're working for you. I would recommend trying this on, trying it every step, checking it out in the mirror, seeing how it looks. You know, move around, flex your body, see how the pieces work. Make sure that, you know, lunge your arm forward, make sure it's not getting caught in certain areas as you move. All right, bend over, see if you can pick a sword up from the ground, see if it feels comfortable. Now I would go back through and reinforce these areas with tape before you mache it, because they've had time to kind of pull away. And yeah, you are pretty much done. Good job. Ooh.